Our Saturday series, Hormones and Menopause, What Makes Sense, continues this morning. We're focusing this morning on what is called brain fog. Many women experience during hormone replacement therapy or during menopause, something that is obviously concerning many women. Joining me are Dr. Mahmud, an anti-aging and preventative medicine expert, and also Sonia St. Charles, one of Dr. Mahmud's patients. It's good to have both of you back and have you back as well and joining with you. Thank you so much for coming. We've been talking about menopause and hormone replacement therapy for a couple of weeks now, and you know I've gotten some emails, people kind of wondering, you know, there is hormone replacement therapy, then there's bioidentical, and a lot of times what people are finding is that the bioidentical potentially is not covered, all of it not covered by insurance. And so what do you think is going to be the trend moving forward as people are finding out more and more information about the differences between the two? What do you think is going to happen with insurance and the insurance companies looking at this and realizing women want this?
Well, first of all, we know that there are several insurance companies that are already paying for it. There are some who would not pay for this because they don't think there's been sufficient studies on that, even if there are studies in there. And I think that as time goes on, more and more insurances will pay for this.
Yeah, because it is just something that people are looking into more and more and finding advantages on choosing one or the other. One thing that you have noticed with your patients is that when women go into menopause, this brain fog tends to be one of the main concerns, or one of the concerns people walk in and say, I don't know what's happening to me, but they're tying the two together. And why is that?
That's absolutely true. We found that approximately 70% of the women who came to see us, of several hundred women that we have seen, about 70% of them had this problem of brain fog. I never knew the word brain fog before. Women taught me. And that is a very significant problem in their quality of life. When they're younger, they got their ovaries. You can't make them forget anything. Once their ovaries are gone, you can't make them remember anything.
Wow.
So
it's to do with the hormone levels starting to be reduced or changing as you go into menopause. That's what's causing this, is what they think, right?
Absolutely, I believe so. And I will tell you the mechanisms of how that happens. You see, with the government studies, with the artificial hormones, actually, the risk of dementia increased to 2 times. It doubled. And I've told you the reason why that happens, how if you take artificial hormones and you take them by mouth, there are bad things that happen.
Because they go through the liver and things change up there.
But with our several hundred women, all of those who had brain fog, 90% of them improved, and most of them, the brain fog completely disappeared. And I can tell you why that happened if you got time. First of all, estradiol builds new brain cells, particularly in the memory center of the brain. It heals the damaged brain cell. It decreases the inflammation in the brain. The other natural estrogen that I use, estriol, has been shown to clear people's problems with multiple sclerosis.
So there's all sorts of reasons why these things are helping out.
Yeah. And progesterone also does similar things. DHEA produces neuroprotective growth factors in patients with Alzheimer's.
So lots of reasons. Sonia, what was your experience? You were going into menopause, and at the same time you're running a company. You know, you got a big job, and you're finding that you said you couldn't even read an email after a while or comprehend an email after a while.
I would focus on a paragraph, and I'd read it 2 or 3 times just trying to grasp what the concept was. And I struggled with decisions that I knew intellectually before had never been a problem for me, and I couldn't understand what was happening. It was like I knew the resources were in there, but I couldn't get to it. It was like I was wading through, as Dr. Mahmud says, brain fog. And once I started on the bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, it was amazing. It was like all of a sudden I could think again. I could make decisions. It was a tremendous change.
So right into menopause, you decided to go bioidentical. And why did you decide that?
Actually, I didn't realize what was happening to me. I thought I was too young for it to be menopause. So I went to several doctors trying to determine what was the problem. I had no energy. I mean, I went through the list of symptoms, and my mental fatigue. I said, I'm not as smart as I used to be. And I got several differing answers. And after visiting Dr. Mahmud, where he took the time to explain to me what was happening, tested my blood and said, this is why you're experiencing these symptoms, I realized then with his 4 board certifications, I felt very comfortable with his approach and did some research and decided to try that.
So you've been on it for 6 years, you said?
About 6.5.
6 years. And you topically apply these things and continue to get your blood tested to realize where you are when it comes to your levels, right?
Yep, we test my blood twice a year, and I've stabilized now. We had a little trouble getting me to the levels that he wanted, but it's made a tremendous difference in my quality of life.
So energy-wise as well, but the brain fog has cleared.
The brain fog is probably, I've had numerous benefits, but the brain fog has probably been the biggest change. I'm smart again. I've got my brain back.
Wow, that's a huge situation. Well, we appreciate the information. I know we just kind of tap into it every week, but that's what we're trying to do and trying to get that information out there. Next week, we're going to talk about PMS and how that really does affect so many people in so many varying ways. So that is our subject for next week. So tune in for more information, of course, how you can get a hold of Dr. Mahmud. Just give them a call. It's Innovative Directions in Health. It is in Edina, and their number is 952-922-2345. Call your insurance company. Find out if they are covering this, and you can find out more information about bioidentical hormones. If you want to go on the Saturday Show page located under News, that's where all of this information is. And we will be right back.